How far will the cancel culture go? Is there anything that is so, dare I say, sacred to the American people that even the left would hold back? Nope. Not if it's outside of their ideological arena. Not if it's outside of what they like, what the left, so communism, fine. Lenin, Marx, Stalin, whatever, fine. Che Guevara, fine. That's no problem. But some have said, in jest, what are they going to do? Come for Jesus next? Because you got to ask the question, was Jesus really strong enough on trans rights back in the day? He didn't talk about it. There's nothing in the Bible about trans rights that I've seen. So people raise this to try to establish the outer realm, if you will, the outer limit of the extent of the absurdity here. And it is so instructive that as you try to do that now, I often say the left is beyond parody. And I mean it. I'm saying that actually is true. Because when I try to parody the left, I fail because they're that crazy. I'll say, oh my gosh, what's going to be next? Go back to 2017. There was the beginning of this statue pull down movement, and people were saying things like they're going to come for the founders, they're going to come for Washington and Jefferson, and it's going to happen. Oh no, they won't. Oh yes, they will, and they currently are doing so. But what about statues of Jesus? And this started, I saw this conversation as it was happening online between various journos and thought leaders and influencers and, whoever and whatever. They said, well, what about Jesus? Are you going to come for Jesus statues too? Is Jesus part of the patriarchy? I mean, in a sense, he, Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. I mean, I guess he is the patriarchy. But are they really going to come after Jesus? And the answer is yes, according to some leftists. Shawn King, Touré, a gentleman who is it was not very gentlemanly at all from what I understand from people who have worked with him, but who is only known by one name. I thought that was mostly what you'd have with, soccer players. But anyway, he said, what is the parody here? This is about... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take you through this discussion because I have all of it. Shawn King says, yes, I think the statues of the white European they claim is Jesus should also come down. This is perhaps the most well-known BLM voice out there, right? I mean, Shawn King, who, if you go back into his background and look around a little bit, you'll just go, I cannot believe that this is really the situation that we're all dealing. I cannot believe that this guy's able to get away with this. But I think the statues of the white European they claim is Jesus should also come down. They are a form of white supremacy, he writes, always have been. In the Bible, when the family of Jesus wanted to hide and blend in, guess where they went? Egypt, not Denmark. Tear them down. Now, Charlie Sykes, who is one of these narcissistic, sanctimonious, former conservative idiots who has built a career now trashing Trump and everybody who supports Trump because he wasn't important enough in the Trump era. So it's all about him. Is a surly and deeply unimpressive fellow. I don't know why anybody ever listened to him on radio in Wisconsin or Minnesota or wherever he had a show that was on a couple of stations. But he said, I know we live in a post-parody world, but please tell me this is parody. So he's willing to say, come on, guys, we're not really going to, I know Trump is worse than Hitler and all that, but we're not really going to have the left and the Democrats now tell us they're going to tear down Jesus statues. And then Mr. Touré, who, just as an interesting side note, is very concerned with social justice issues and class warfare in general. I believe he attended the elite Milton Academy boarding school, which I think costs something like $50,000 a year. And yes, so, but, that's fine. I just think it's interesting that somebody is so concerned with the struggle of those who are not wealthy, those who are in different oppressed classes, happened to benefit substantially in his academic rise from going to a very, very elite institution. You see this a lot. People that are lecturing everybody else about the oppressed, but they're the first one to waive their, degree from Yale. If we're going to keep calling it Yale, they'll wave these degrees in your face, but also then lecture you on how much they understand the struggle. And you sit here and say, where is the gratitude for the greatness of American society that? Anyway, but Mr. Torre says, Charlie, where is the parody here? Jesus looked a lot more like me than the blonde, blue-eyed person we see. That Europeanized vision of Jesus is a form of, get ready for it, white supremacy. The statues of him perpetuate that. What part of that can you disagree with? Well, see, this is very interesting because there are different cultures all over the world where Christianity has spread. And there are, in fact, many different versions of Jesus that appear. And I have friends who will tell you that if you go, for example, to some churches in Korea, Jesus may look more like someone of Asian descent. I went online right before I came on to just see how many statues there are of black Jesus that you can buy, and there's merchandise, and it's all over the people have many different representations of Jesus. Oh, but if Jesus... And I don't even know if they would understand this on the left or they would care, but we often, at least I can speak to the Catholic tradition, Jesus, the spread of Christianity throughout Europe and the Renaissance and then the Reformation, and Jesus evolved in the depiction to be more like, to resemble more the population of Europe during the Renaissance, and then some of the most famous sculptures and most famous statues and paintings were representative of that. So, when Michelangelo is painting the Sistine Chapel and Jesus looks like a Northern Italian, it's not white supremacy. It's because he was trying to show a depiction of Jesus that would resonate with the people of Italy at the time. But can the Sistine Chapel then really stay? I want to take their logic. I want to take the left's logic to its real end here. Can the Sistine Chapel stay? Well, not if the depictions of Jesus look as they do, because we're told that this is now white supremacy. So does that statue come down? Does that statue all of a sudden no longer, or rather, does that incredible work of art, I should say. I mean, statue as a general term here. I don't know what people really think of this. I don't know where the left wants to take this. But it's insane. Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.